The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, Breakout Investing, with your host, Ken Shreve.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Breakout Investing on TFNN. My name is Ken Shreve. Thanks very much for tuning in, as always. You can hear my show every Tuesday and Thursday on TFNN from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. My show is also available as a podcast on iTunes. That's a good thing. If you can't listen live, just head over to iTunes and do a search for Breakout Investing, Ken Shreve, something along those lines, and you'll find the show that way. And don't forget, you can listen to all TFNN programming on your smartphone. Just type in tfnn.mobi in your smartphone browser, and you can get the stream that way as well. As usual, I'll be going over some charts on my show. If you want to look at those charts live right along with me, go to Tiger TV on the homepage of tfnn.com. Channel 1 is where you can look at the charts live, and the show is also archived on Channel 13. And new feature at TFNN just recently, you can also watch Tiger TV now on your smartphone device, either your iPhone or your Android device. Just go to the homepage for more details on how you can do that. All right, let's take a look at the market, see where we're at here with a little more than 50 minutes left to go in Thursday's session. We're kind of wedging higher here. NASDAQ outperforming ahead of a busy earnings season, especially after the close today. We'll get into some high-profile tech reports coming up after the close. But the NASDAQ outperforming right now, up about 13 points, 0.5% to 2783. Take a look at a chart of the composite here on Tiger TV. You can see a good breakout for the NASDAQ yesterday over that key price level of 2753. I thought yesterday's price action in the market was pretty darn compelling. Obviously, it's been a good start to 2012. Came back from the holidays, came back from New Year's. January 3rd was the first day of trading. Remember, we had those nice percentage gains to start off the year. Not a lot of volume behind those gains on that day, but yesterday I thought was the most compelling day for the market since the start of the year. You did have a little bit of volume in the NASDAQ yesterday, about 1.92 billion shares. That was above average. It also rose nicely from Wednesday's level. And again, a breakout over 2753. Now, the NASDAQ does have some highs to contend with, but still, the ability to get over that 2753 price level in good volume was impressive. So NASDAQ working its way higher again today. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. And we'll see that the S&P 500 right now is up 0.4%, call it 5.5 points, to 1308. And we had a nice breakout for the S&P 500. That was over the, what was it, the 12, I think it was a 1292 level. That was the late October high over here. So the S&P 500 continues to trade pretty well as well. And finally, a look at the Dow. The Dow was really the first index to stage a technical breakout. It still has some highs to deal with as well, but the Dow right now underperforming a little bit today, up 30 points, 0.2% to 12,563. So, I'm hearing people calling for a pullback. I'm starting to hear that term overbought, and that may be true. We may come in, but if we do come in, it would be ideal to see any market pullback from here in light volume. Okay, so if we do get a near-term pullback, and who knows, maybe it's earnings reports after the close today that disappoint. I have a feeling we're probably going to see some pretty good numbers from the likes of Google, Intel, Microsoft, IBM, Intuitive Surgical. There's a whole bunch of companies reporting after the close today. I think the news is generally going to be good, and this is a market to me that just seems like it wants to go higher. There were clues yesterday that institutions were in there buying. Again, when you see above average volume on the NASDAQ yesterday, and you see a breakout, that's a sign that there are some big players in there. So we'll see what some of these NASDAQ 100 firms have to say after the close, but again, talk of a pullback. Yeah, maybe it's warranted. Maybe we are a little bit overbought here. But if we do pull back, certainly it would be more preferable to see a pullback in declining volume. You don't want to see signs of institutional selling, basically. So we'll see how that plays out. So that's a look at the major averages here, higher again. Let's also take a look. I mentioned the strong performance in the NASDAQ yesterday. Let's also take a look at the QQQ. This is the Power Shares QQQ, which mirrors the daily performance of the NASDAQ 100. Pretty bullish day for the NASDAQ 100 yesterday as well. It staged a technical breakout. The QQQ broke out yesterday over a key resistance level at 59.20, and again, Google is a component in the NASDAQ 100. Intel is also in there, so it's going to be really interesting to see what these NASDAQ 100 components have to say. But you had pretty good volume in the QQQ yesterday. Breakout over 59.20. The QQQ is extending gains today, up 36 cents, 0.6% to 59.85. So its technical picture doesn't look too bad either. So Microsoft, Google, Intel, big components in the NASDAQ 100, and their reports coming up after the close. So we'll see. Another compelling part of Wednesday's section yesterday was a breakout in the Market Vectors Semiconductor ETF, a breakout in the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. Boy, these chip stocks are really trying to assert leadership and doing a pretty good job of it. The SMH broke out yesterday over $32.74. Again, we're talking these late October highs for a lot of these indices, a lot of these ETFs, breakouts over resistance levels that were there from late October when the market started to pull back. So good breakout for the Market Vector Semiconductor ETF yesterday. It's following through today, up 46 cents, 1.4% to 33.35. Intel has a big weighting in this ETF, close to 20%, I believe. The other two top weighted holdings, you've got Intel number one, you've got Taiwan Semiconductor number two, and Texas Instruments is the third weighted. I believe Texas Instruments is coming out with earnings next week, but don't hold me to that. So good action in the semiconductor stocks. Another check name that looks pretty interesting here. I know it's reporting earnings next week, KLA-Tencor. Good action in this stock recently. Ticker KLAC on the NASDAQ. That stock is outperforming nicely again today, up 92 cents, 1.8%. to 50.94. And with KLA-Tencor, we had a nice breakout yesterday over the 49.39 level. 49.39 was the breakout for KLAC, and frankly, this one still looks like it's within buying range. Remember, if you've been listening to my show in recent months, you know that I don't like to chase a stock when it moves, more than 3 to 4%, sometimes 5% past a swing point. You don't want to chase a stock when the train has already left the station here. KLAC trading right now at 50.94. The swing point again there, 49.39. So it's kind of borderline. Haven't done the exact percentage, but typically don't like to chase a stock when it's more than 3 to 4% past an entry point. And also in the chip space, let's not forget about a recent new issue that a lot of people haven't heard of. Mentioned it recently on the show, but a company called InvenSense, ticker INVN on the NASDAQ. Basically, this company manufactures motion processing integrated circuits and related software for consumer electronics devices for the video game industry. Wouldn't chase the stock here. This is an example of an extended stock. It did have a recent breakout over $11, $12 a share. It is now at $14.19, up another 2.4% today. So this is one I would wait for just a new base to form. If this market is going to pull back a little bit, which is possible, that's the time when you normally see some consolidations form in some of these leading stocks. But I would not chase InvenSense up here. It does have a lot of positive qualities, good growth prospects here. It is a recent new issue, and remember, when I go about buying stocks, I like to target stocks that are generally more in the early stages of a price move as opposed to the later stages. So being a recent IPO, InventSense certainly is arguably in the early stages of a move here. InventSense went public at $8 a share in mid-November. So again, trading up around 14 now. Clearly there's some buying demand here, and really solid top-line growth in recent quarters, and growth prospects look pretty good for this company. So that's InventSense. So overall, a bullish day for the market Wednesday. Another reasonable performance today with tech names outperforming. Again, I thought yesterday's action was compelling. It's hard to ignore strength when you see it, and yesterday was really the first true day of strength that I saw in the market, not only from the NASDAQ Composite, but also from the NASDAQ 100, the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index as well, and as we just went over, the SMH had a nice breakout yesterday as well. Okay, volume today. On the NASDAQ, tracking pretty close to what we saw on Wednesday. Volume Wednesday was slightly above average at 1.94 billion shares. Right now, we're tracking pretty close to that level. Tracking a little bit higher on the New York Stock Exchange. Yesterday, we had 790 million shares. Right now, we're about 5, maybe 10% higher than that. So a little bit of accumulation going on the NYSE today. Busy day of earnings after the close yesterday, before the open today. Take a look at Bank of America, BAC. This is another potential catalyst for the market, not Bank of America itself, but if the XLF really gets going here, because it's trying to break out, kind of flirting with a breakout over 1417. But first, let's talk about Bank of America. They reported numbers. Stock is up 2.3% to $6.95. This is not a stock that is on my radar. I typically target growth stocks for my model portfolio, for my Ultimate Growth Stocks model portfolio, but I am interested in how financials trade. Bank of America certainly has suffered a lot of technical damage. It has come up nicely off its lows that were put in just before, in December thereabouts, and it is trading in the bottom half of its trading range today. It hit an intraday high of 729, currently trading around 695, but the numbers weren't too bad at Bank of America. Let's take a look at Morgan Stanley, ticker MS on the New York Stock Exchange. Morgan Stanley having a big day, up 94 cents, 5.4% to $18.29. It gapped up today, trading in the middle half of its trading range today. You can see this 200-day moving average, though. Morgan Stanley has not been a picture of leading price performance, of course. It has rallied along with other financial stocks in recent weeks, but it is still trading behind what looks to be a significant resistance level here. Its 200-day moving average at 1915. So that's a look at Bank of America and Morgan Stanley. And I mentioned the XLF, the Spider Financial ETF. It is still trying for a breakout over 1417. That's its late October high. It's up 11 cents right now to 1403. So we'll see if that can get going in coming days. All right, folks, stick with me. You're listening to Breakout Investing on TFNN. We'll be right back.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective and maximize your returns. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
In 1929, Joe Kennedy had $4 million. By 1932, he grew it into $180 million. All this during the Great Depression. The good thing about economic difficult times is that the worst economy can produce the best rewards in the shortest period of time. In fact, during the last 130 years, 61% of that time has been spent in recession. How would you like the strategies that are bulletproof against the turmoil of our economy in these fast-changing times? For the last quarter of a century, I've studied and used the secrets used by millionaires and billionaires. These are bulletproof strategies that will absolutely astonish you. I'd love to introduce you to these concepts that will absolutely change your life. You'll learn the 3 ways to grow any business exponentially. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, and host of the Trader's Edge, both seen daily at TFNN.com. If you're even a little bit interested in accumulating wealth, providing a better life for you and your family, then go to TFNN.com, look under Breaking News, and click on the Get Steve Rhodes Special Report link, and I'll email you this free report, Pathways to Wealth.
Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Ken Shreve with you on TFNN. Thanks for tuning in to Breakout Investing. Market also getting a lift today due to that dollar-euro relationship. At last check, the U.S. dollar index was lower and the euro was higher. U.S. dollar index down by about 38 ticks to 80.23. Here's a look at the power shares. Deutsche Bank U.S. dollar index bullish fund. Its chart pretty much mirrors that of the U.S. dollar index, and I use this chart because it does give me sort of an intraday look at what the dollar is doing. But as you can see, the UUP is down 8 cents to 22.39. Definitely starting to show some technical weakness here, so market bulls should be encouraged by that. UUP recently gave up its 20-day moving average yesterday. Now its 50-day line looks like it's in play at 22.29. So UUP currently at 22.39, about 10 cents above its 50-day moving average. So a meaningful break below that support level, who knows, could bring some more buyers into this market. The proxy I use for tracking the euro is another liquid ETF, FXE. That's the Currency Shares Euro Trust. That is up 79 cents today, 0.6% to 128.88. Looking to extend its winning streak to 3 sessions, and you can see it's still underneath its 50-day moving average at 131.44. So can't say for certain that the euro is about to start a meaningful uptrend here, but as long as we can see, days where the euro is strong and the dollar is weak, that should continue to provide a lift for stocks. Okay, mentioned busy week of earnings today. Mentioned some of the financials that reported: Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. Let's also take a look at F5 Networks. Big day for F5 Networks. Interesting company here. The stock is soaring today on better than expected results. Pretty good outlook. Up $12.24, 11.3% to $120.70. Big gap up today. What's interesting is that F5 had been trying to find support at its 50-day moving average headed into earnings. You have a big gap up. The stock is up more than $12 today. So a lot of people wouldn't want to buy it up here, but bottom line is that F5 still looks to be within buying range here, because the swing point for F5 is 117.30. That would be its intraday high set back over in this area here. So still within buying range, not extended 3, 4, 5% past that swing point. So if you're still interested in the company, I don't think you'd be breaking any buy rules by you're buying it here. It doesn't look to me like you'd be chasing it. Earnings at F5 up 17% to $1.03 a share. Sales up 20% to $322.4 million. And of course, F5 is a networking gear maker. A lot of networking stocks doing well today. Let's take a look at SolarWinds. This is sort of an under-the-radar stock, but pretty interesting price action today. Good fundamentals at SolarWinds. The stock is up 7% today, $2.08 to $30.87. This is a stock that is simply building a base. The company is a maker of network management software. Bottom line, still building a base here. I think it's still too early to buy here. It is showing, good price action today, good heavy volume move. It's back above its 50-day moving average, but I would rather wait for the base to complete here. Wait for a new entry point to form. One of the big pitfalls of growth investors is buying a stock too early. So in this case, I'd wait for the base to complete. It's still in the middle of a consolidation, showing good price action today, but still too early. Finally, let's take a look at Netgear, another high-quality networking name. Shares of Netgear today up 3.5% to $40.35. Netgear, excuse me, nice breakout. Over $38.48, your swing point right over in this area here. So nice breakout over $38.47 recently. Stock is trading at $40.35. So again, you just want to make sure you don't want to chase a stock when it moves too far past a swing point. And the general rule I use is 3 to 4%. Even though I think the folks over at Investors Business Daily say don't chase a stock more than 5% past a buy point. So networking gear makers doing very well today. And finally, as we head into break, let's take a look at Freeport-McMoRan Copper and Gold. That stock is mostly unchanged right now, just down 10 cents to $44.37. Good bottom line and top line beat. It's trading right at its 200-day moving average, so we'll see if that is a resistance level or not for the stock. All right, folks, Ken Shreve, TFNN. You're listening to Breakout Investing. We'll be right back.
Attention business owners, managers, and entrepreneurs. Studies show that 1 in 25 businesses last 10 years, and less than 1% of all businesses generate $5 million in annual revenues. Would you like to learn the skills that separate these businesses from all of the rest? It isn't about working 10 times harder. It's about working 10 times smarter. And I can show you how. Absolutely free, no strings attached. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, past owner of businesses at Disney, Universal Studios, Vegas casinos, and top destinations throughout the world. Join me Wednesday, January 25th at 6:30 p.m. for a 1-hour online webinar where I'll teach you how to get your dream clients, get past the one person that stands between you and the most influential people in the world, and show you the 3 ways to grow your business exponentially. Go to the front page of TFNN.com under Breaking News and click on Pathways to Growth, where preparation meets opportunity. That's Wednesday, January 25th. Register now for your Pathway to Growth, part of our Go Long America program on the homepage of TFNN.com. Decisions shape your destiny. Shape yours now.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Breakout Investing on TFNN. Yeah, it's interesting. There's growing talk. Remember, we have a two-day Fed meeting that concludes next week on Wednesday, and there's growing talk that we could see QE3 perhaps sooner than expected. Probably something in the form of the Fed buying mortgage-backed securities to drive interest rates even lower. I think it was either Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac came out earlier today, said that the the rate on a 30-year mortgage now is right around 3.88%. So it's hard to say whether low interest rates have really propped up the economy. I suppose it has, but just anecdotally, I hear that it's still not easy to get a refinance on the house. Banks are requiring a ton of information. So low interest rates are great, and the Fed looks intent on lowering interest rates even further to spur this housing market that still is struggling. And you have the prospects of a European recession as well. So it looks like quantitative easing, even though it is politically not a popular topic, we could see more quantitative easing by the Fed, which could be another catalyst for this market. So market bulls probably like this news. All right. Before we went into break, we were talking about earnings from Freeport-McMoRan. Good bottom line and top line beat. Profit fell 59% from a year ago to 67 cents a share. Estimates were for 61 cents. Sales also declined 26% to $4.16 billion, but analysts were looking for $3.85 billion, so that was a good beat as well. Looking at Freeport's chart, I mentioned the stock has been in rally mode for the past couple of weeks, but another case, a stock that is still below resistance here in the 200-day moving average at 44.04. Freeport is trading slightly above it, but still, to me, looks like there's some technical damage here that's going to take some time to overcome. Let's also take a look at eBay, another stock that reported strong earnings. Stock is outperforming nicely today. Still some, I would refer to this. You heard me mention the term technically troubled. eBay would also fall into this category, even though the stock is outperforming nicely today, up 4.1% to $31.58. Results pretty good. Earnings up 15% from a year ago to 60 cents a share. Another quarter of accelerating sales growth. That means the rate of sales growth for eBay over the past 3 to 4 quarters has been picking up the rate of speed each quarter. This time around, fourth quarter sales up 35% from a year ago to $3.4 billion. eBay is getting about half of its revenue from the U.S. now, other half from international markets. Sales at its PayPal unit. Remember, PayPal's CEO recently left and took the CEO job at Yahoo, but sales at eBay's PayPal unit, which is an online payment service, rose 28% to $1.24 billion, and revenue for eBay's marketplace unit, which includes its auction business, rose 16% year over year to $1.77 billion. So this is another stock. Some would call it a breakout today. I would not call it a breakout. Still, there are pretty clear signs of institutional selling in eBay ahead of the numbers, but investors are cheering the results today, again sending shares higher by better than 4% to 31.58. Taking a look at crude oil today, it was higher for most of the session, then it eventually ended lower at the New York Merc, down 0.2% to $100.39 a barrel. Again, I use the USO as my proxy here, the United States Oil Fund, which tracks the price of West Texas intermediate light sweet crude oil. USO right now is currently down 18 cents to 38.65, still holding above its 50-day moving average at 38.21. So we'll see if USO is going to be able to hold support in coming days. And then taking a look at gold. Gold bullion down 0.3% to $1,654.50 an ounce. And the Spider Gold Trust, GLD, see what that's doing today. Down 66 cents to $160.94. Trading above its 200-day moving average, but below its 50-day moving average at 162.63. So GLD trading right now at 160.94. This one, still not clear at all to me that a new uptrend is ready to begin here. If the dollar continues to weaken, you'd expect that the GLD could continue higher, but right now the 162.63 price level looks to be pretty good resistance right now. How about the transports today? I mean, big numbers from Union Pacific. Earnings up 28% to $1.99 a share. Sales up 16% to $5.1 billion. Let's get a chart of UNP here. A lot of railroad reports coming up, especially next week. Monday, we've got reports from Kansas City Southern, KSU, CSX also reports on Monday, and the Norfolk Southern reports on Tuesday. So it's all about railroads lately. Here's a look at Union Pacific, which again reported strong earnings, up 2.5% today to $112.56. Sellers in the stock today, though. It's still, even though it's up 2.5%, the stock is near its session low. It gapped up on the strong numbers. But interesting that there are sellers in the stock here. It is trading near its session low. Recently trading around 112.56. Its intraday low is 112.10. So excitement seems to be fading for Union Pacific. Let's take a look at IYT, another ETF, the iShares Dow Jones Transportation Average Index, IYT, on the New York Stock Exchange. It is up 1.7% today to 94.52. It's trading up near its session high, so continues to show relative price strength. The IYT, popular ETF that tracks the transport sector. Economic data earlier today, not too bad. Big drop in weekly jobless claims before the open today. Claims actually hit the lowest level since April 2008. They fell 50,000 to 352,000. That was after a pretty big and unexpected jump last week, so there may be some seasonality factors there, but still claims at 352,000. Good news. Inflation data yesterday, the producer price index, no real surprises there. Today, the consumer price index showed a flat reading in December. The core rate, which excludes food and energy, was up just 0.1%. Yesterday, wholesale prices fell 0.1%, and the core rate rose a little hotter than expected to 0.3%. So, it doesn't look like inflation is a real big issue for the economy right now. But we'll hear the Fed talk more about that next week. Again, a two-day Fed meeting concludes next week. Tuesday starts the meeting, and then the meeting concludes on Wednesday. Also today, December housing starts, 657,000, down from 685,000 in November. Building permits pretty much in line at 679,000. That was flat from November. And then finally, the Philly Fed Index in January, the Federal Reserve Index of factory activity in the mid-Atlantic region of the U.S. came in below expectations at 7.3, but there was a big downward revision to the December reading to 6.8 from 10.3. So the latest reading in January actually came in higher than what was than the December revision. So not too bad a data from the Philly Fed. All right, taking a look at some other movers today. Let's take a look at shares of Apple. AAPL on the NASDAQ. Shares of Apple down 40 cents to $428.71. Kind of a hesitant breakout taking shape here. Still waiting for volume to come into Apple ahead of its earnings report next week. The news today around Apple, big event in New York City today at the Guggenheim Museum. The company announced new software, or at least an update to software for creating textbooks for its iPad tablet computer. A new bookstore app will distribute the textbooks, and Apple also announced a revamped iTunes University app to deliver more courses and class material. So big educational push for Apple that is meant to drive sales of its iPad tablet. iPad 3 should be coming out in March. Apple is partnering with textbook publishers like Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, that is, McGraw-Hill, and Pearson to distribute the interactive textbook. So how long it will take Apple to monetize this new initiative remains to be seen, but there is a lot of optimism about Apple's earnings reports. I believe it's Tuesday after the close, January 24th. The company is going to be coming out with earnings. Right now, they're expected to earn $9.94 a share, up 55% from a year ago. Pretty good chance you're going to see an EPS number much higher than that. Also would expect to see revenue much higher than the current consensus estimate of $38.5 billion. That would be up 44%. But estimates tend to be light for Apple, so we'll see what the company has to say early next week in its quarterly results. Let's take a look at shares of Intuitive Surgical, ISRG, another high-priced stock here. It is rallying ahead of its earnings report after the close today. Shares up $3.10. Not a big percentage gain, only up 0.7% to $473.96. Technically, a strong stock here. The issue with Intuitive Surgical is that the last time you had a base breakout for Apple is when it broke out over $449 at this price level right here. It formed a little flat base. So it's now trading at $473, $474, probably a little bit extended now from that last entry point, but wouldn't be surprised at all to see big numbers from this company. This is a favorite of aggressive growth investors. It's been firming up at its 20-day moving average, actually sitting very close to a 52-week high here. Earnings, not big earnings growth expected this time around, with earnings up 10% to $3.33 a share. Sales up 24% to $483.7 million. And, we'll see what the company has to say, but this is another company that tends to not disappoint very often when it reports quarterly results. So that's Intuitive Surgical. After the close, mentioned some of these networking names doing well on the heels of F5 Networks' strong results. Let's take a look at Equinix, EQIX. They're basically a provider of global data center services. Nice cup with handle breakout in this stock recently, over $104 a share. Here was your swing point back here in early December. Stock is off its highs today, but still trading pretty well, up 72 cents to $113.67. This is another example of an extended stock. So if you've been late to the game and you're looking to put money to work in this market, feel like you're missing out, you need to be very careful of not chasing some of these strong price performers. EQIX is a fabulous company, but it is a company that has already broken out. It cleared 104, now trading around 113, 114 a share. So rather than chase it up here, I would just simply wait for a pullback. And again, some people calling for a market pullback. We could get one, and if we do get one, EQIX could give you that pullback where you could pick up some shares. Earnings for EQIX not due until mid-February, February 15th specifically, but another quarter of strong growth is expected, with earnings up 52% year over year to 44 cents a share, sales up 24% to about $430 million. Similar company, similar business. Let's take a look at Rackspace, Rackspace Hosting. This is another stock that's sort of simmering on the stove here, but taking some time to break out here. That is a bit of a concern, a good lesson on why you don't want to buy before a breakout. You can see Rackspace is trading near its session low right now, only down 31 cents, or it's up 31 cents, I should say, to 43.59. Its intraday low is 43.50. So some selling pressure in the stock today. Rackspace is, I say simmering because it looks poised for a breakout over 45.46, and that would be its late October, early November high back in this area here. So not out of the question that Rackspace attempts a breakout over 45.46, but curious price action today, falling off its highs after early strength. Really love the growth prospects, not only at EQIX but also at Rackspace. It's a high multiple stock, but when they report fourth quarter results, we should see full year profit up about 51% from 2010, and then at the end of this year in 2012, they're expected to produce another annual earnings growth of 51%. So 2 straight years of 51% annual earnings growth. Pretty impressive. So that's it with EQIX and also Rackspace Hosting. When we come back, we're going to take a call from Will in Shreveport, Louisiana. That's my last name. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to tfnn.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650, but you get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
I'm very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the opening call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his opening call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his opening call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the opening call, a $64 value, visit tfnn.com today.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks, to Breakout Investing on TFNN. I want to go to Will right now in Shreveport, Louisiana. I've heard that Shreveport is named after Henry Shreve, the steamboat guy. That's right, and I've heard he's a distant relative. So I think some family members trying to confirm that. But how you doing today, Will?
It's a great day. I wanted to tell you that before calling in the last couple of days, I've spent more than an hour going back to the 15th of December, where you had made daily comments on real money. And if I'm correct, I thought that you at some point had talked about a spread in a high-priced option, where when you had mentioned that after both sides were taken care of, there was a risk of $2, and the stock had been up about $12. And I tried to put that in memory, but it didn't take. And so I I'm disappointed that I couldn't do more research on that. Was I correct?
Well, I hate to say it, even though I do a lot of daily commentary at realmoney.com, I am not involved at all in the options market. So
this was just a brief statement where you had said that weeks before you had been looking at that, and then you brought a quick comment about closing it out if people hadn't done it. Do you think I
Yeah, no, I just don't play in the options market, and that it could be. I do have Bob Lang. He's a colleague of mine at realmoney.com. He's at explosiveoptions.net, very active poster on the options market, and I've had him on the show several times. He's a good friend of mine and an avid options player. So I'll tell you what, Will, if you want to send me an email. You just send Ken Shreve at tfnn.com, specifically what you saw. I'll run it by Bob Lang and see if he may have posted something along those lines. But
I spell his last name.
Lang, Bob Lang.
Listen, your comments that you have made and the information you have shared are much appreciated. And I hope that you can keep doing what you like to do for many years. And I'm sorry to get two names confused.
No problem at all. I appreciate those comments very much, Will. And I hope you have a great day. And thanks a lot for calling. Don't be a stranger. Call in anytime if you have any questions.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care. All right, that's Will from Shreveport. I do a lot of commentary, write articles over at realmoney.com, a sister website of Jim Cramer's the Street, or Jim was the founder of the Street. But I don't play in the options markets. Several of my colleagues do over at Real Money. So nice words from Will. Nonetheless, let's check on the markets here as we head into the close. About less than 5 minutes to go in the session today. Pretty decent day for the market. Dow right now up 29 points to 12,608. NASDAQ up 16 points to 2785, and the S&P 500 up close to 5 points to 1312. After the close, it's all about earnings, as I mentioned. We'll watch to see what American Express has to say. Let's take a look at American Express ahead of its earnings report after the close. Shares right now up 0.6% to $50.87, and Google holding above its 50-day moving average here. Stock is up 1% today to $639.16. Quarterly profit is expected to rise 20% to $10.49 a share. Sales up 32% to $8.4 billion. Don't forget to check out a trial to Ultimate Growth Stocks, my newsletter, on the homepage of tfnn.com. Coming up next, the Tom O'Brien Show from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Great.